Oh!
No.
I really want to know what happens. Hi there, Shaun, and welcome to Cinema Rules.
It's probably going to be the last time everyone sees this sofa. This is the last, probably going to be the last video.
She was a good sofa. She served us well. What are we going to name this Mark 1 sofa? And it's even on...
Let's call him Marky Mark.
It's even...
Marky Mark.
Marky Mark's even on one of our shirts as well, our merch. So
our merch, yeah.
Iconic. Right.
Don't break the sofa. We're parking the Oscars for a little bit. We're coming back to it though. So stay tuned for that. But we're currently dabbling in movies we want to see.
Any random film that we want to see. So.
Yeah, and it's my pick this time. If I'm completely honest, I haven't researched this film, so I have no idea what it is about. Close your eyes. Open.
Whoa! Whoa! Directed by Bryan Singer.
Ooh.
Controversial these days. Also, controversially, Kevin Spacey as well.
Yes, so it's a very controversial video, this. Jeez.
Right.
I didn't even know.
I think I know the big thing in this film.
Oh, I didn't know there's a big thing, so don't even...
Okay, I won't even mention it, Shaun.
I don't even know what it's about. They're probably crooks.
As far as I'm concerned, I think it's about them trying to find out who the killer is or something, I don't know. But Stephen Baldwin, Gabriel Byrne, Benicio del Toro's in this as well. Giancarlo Esposito, I didn't know that.
I've always heard of this the title of it, The Usual Suspects, but I just haven't seen it, and it's time for me to see it.
Why haven't we seen it? Because we like...
I don't know.
Seen a lot of films. You just grow up sometimes.
You just grow up.
Just grow up, not...
Grow up!
Right. Just get on with it. Oh,
Okay, before we start the video, just want to announce that we've got some new designs for the merch store.
Whoa!
So we've got the classic or the vintage 70s style hoodie here, Cinema Rules. Yeah, you'll see that he's got a little bit of a back on.
That's some nice material as well.
Yeah. They're available now, and there's some variants as well. You can get these in different colours, but we've also got a few more items. So we've got the Cinema Rules 70s vintage logo on a cushion, we've got it on a t-shirt, we've got it on a mug, we've got the whole shebang.
It's on a mug?
It's on a mug, yeah.
Do we have a pint glass yet?
No, I do want one though. That'd be good. Or a 2-pinter one. You know, one like German.
You go for 2, you might as well go for 3.
Or a boot. Or a boot. Anyway, click the link in the description. Let's watch The Usual Suspects. I hope it's good.
The suspects.
The usual though.
And why are we suspecting them? Everybody knows if you hold the gun to the side, it works better.
It works better. Is that going to be like a little quirk that people figure out who that person is?
Could be.
He has a golden lighter as well.
Yeah, you're already reading it like a detective, mate.
It all started back in New York 6 weeks ago. A truck loaded with stripped gun parts got jacked outside of Queens.
Let me give you an example. This I had to see for myself. We have some questions to ask you downtown.
I'm going to pay someone to do that to me.
Yeah,
and
so
watch you all go, what the hell?
Really cool as you take it, and then you can be like, you'll never take me.
At that point, I wasn't scared.
He's got a limp.
I knew I hadn't done anything that
Surely he's putting it on.
Oh, they're all in the same holding cell as well. That's cool.
Me and Fenster heard about a little job. I want nothing to do with any of you.
Oh.
Any survivors? Yeah, there's 2. One guy's in county hospital, but he's in a coma. The DA has a second guy, cripple from New York, I think.
Send me someone who can speak Hungarian.
I'm thinking he's the one that's orchestrated all of this.
He wants to ask you a few questions before you go.
I used to be in a barbershop quartet in Skokie, Illinois. The baritone was this guy named Kip Diskin. Big fat guy, I mean like orca fat. He was so stressed in the morning,
Verbal, you know we're trying to help you.
Just speaking bullshit, isn't he?
Yeah.
May I have a cigarette?
According to your statement,
I need a light.
run a look.
Is he just stalling him and constantly just...
What happened after the lineup?
No matter how you cover my tracks, they're still gonna find out about me.
Is that what eventually makes him turn back to being
to this job. Is that what they're talking about? They're talking about a possible job that they can go on.
So maybe he'll do that one because his legitimate businesses aren't doing very well.
Yeah, and that's the one that goes south, I think.
Yeah.
Where they explode on the docks.
Yeah. And they're all looking at each other, thinking,
Like,
"Are we gonna do it? Come on." Yeah.
Fenster McManus had a cagey proposition. To do it wrong meant killing. To do it right took 5 men. 5 men meant Keaton.
one last job. I love that trope.
Go kill him.
No killing.
Not if we do it my way.
I don't know. He's just coming out with this cloak on, like
trench coat.
Careful, careful, careful. Come on, asshole.
Oh,
here we go.
he's just sitting there.
What is that? No!
He said no killing.
He did. Surely they can get out though.
Yeah.
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 When's the feds come? Redfoot never comes to see me. I always go to see him.
Woo! So far, he is the most interesting character because he's so conflicted. Like, I get it. I understand.
Yeah, but he's the one we're following. We know a bit more about his backstory compared to everybody else.
Oh yeah.
Dean Keaton was under indictment a total of 7 times while he was on the force. In every case, witnesses either reversed their testimony to the grand jury or died before they could testify. When they finally did nail him for fraud, he spent 5 years in Sing Sing. He killed 3 prisoners inside. Of course,
He doesn't know what they were buying, but not dope. People. What? He says his life's in danger. He saw the devil. Looked him in the eye.
Tell him to tell her what he looks like.
Is he some sort of legend?
No, this is the person that's obviously orchestrated everything and...
We arrived in Los Angeles and met McManus's fence, Redfoot.
You guys interested in any more work?
Is there a problem?
He looks like a GTA like online
NPC,
character.
yeah. Donald Trump.
It's more like Boris from the back.
Give me the case.
Oh.
Look at him with his sunglasses on.
Oh.
Jeez.
Flower.
What am I supposed to do with that? Any more surprises, and I'm gonna kill you.
Get the fuck off my...
Oh.
No. No.
Put a leash on that puppy.
He was holding his gun to the
Sweet
side.
night, lady.
Which one?
We haven't really seen the short guy with the hat on.
Oh yeah, he's been a bit
Yeah.
of an invisible presence.
Yeah. He was holding his gun to the side. The only person.
The cripple in there from New York.
Yeah.
Did he mention Kaiser Soze?
Who's Kaiser Sose?
Fuck.
I've been asked by my employer to bring a proposal, 1 day's work. Very dangerous. He does not expect all of you to live, but those of you who do will have $91 million. I work for Kaiser Soze.
Kaiser Soze.
Mr. Soze's primary interest is narcotics. He has been competing, shall we say, with a group of Argentinians for several years now.
Competing with
Mr.
I can't
Soze.
be doing with this.
These Argentinians are negotiating the sale of $91 million in cocaine in 3 days' time. Mr. Soze would like you to stop the deal.
Who is this guy?
What?
I don't-
Kaiser Soze?
Yeah, I think for some reason, I have a feeling it's this guy in the cap.
Nobody ever believed he was real. There was a gang of Hungarians that wanted their own mob. They come to his home in the afternoon looking for his business. He comes home to find his wife raped and children screaming. So they let him know they meant business. Soze looks over the faces of his family. Then he showed these men of Will what Will really was. He tells him he would rather see his family dead than live another day after this. He waits until his wife and kids are in the ground, and then he goes after the rest of the mob. He kills their kids, he kills their wives, he kills their parents and their parents' friends. And like that, he's gone.
Bullshit.
He becomes a myth.
Oh, she's drawing the character.
Oh, the face.
Yeah, the face.
Of Kaiser Soze.
Imagine if you could do that. Just from someone's description.
It also depends on how good the description is as well, because I couldn't describe your face. I'd be like literal rectangle head.
Kobayashi told us where we could find Fenster.
Del Toro died. I love that shot. Colour up, night sky, sound of the waves, the little light coming in. This guy in his disguises.
He didn't look the same, did he?
No, he had his like sunglasses.
Yeah,
He's got his glasses.
Nothing like him. Mate, we know what happens in elevators.
Oh, snap!
Mr. Soze will be most upset.
Listen, you cocksucker, there is no Kaiser Soze. You mention his name again, I'll kill you right now.
Mr. Soze is very real and very determined.
We'll see.
This f***ing guy with his frickin' name.
I believe it. I'm scared of Kaiser Soze.
You will let me finish my business with Miss Finneran first, won't you? The boat will be ready for you on Friday. If I see you or any of your friends before then, Miss Finneran will find herself the victim of a most gruesome violation before she dies. As indeed will your father, Mr. Hockney, and your Uncle Randall in Arizona, Mr. Kint. I might only castrate Mr. McManus's nephew, David.
Damn. Here we go.
Package has arrived.
I want you to stay here.
I'm there.
It's like a B-Tech version of Ryan Gosling. Probably made a lot of people mad then, because they probably know. I don't know who that actor is. I recognise him.
I've seen him play Fred Flintstone's sidekick in one of the Flintstones films.
Oh my god, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the eye. I remember the eyes.
That's all I
and shit.
know him from.
Oh my god, yeah, oh my god.
Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. On the farm he shot some guys.
Bada bing, bada bing, bada boom.
I'd fall straight to the floor if that was me.
The rope would break.
At least I could reach the rope.
So it's behind him.
No.
Oh! Is it going to be Kevin Spacey?
That was a great move when he turned around into the light there.
Yeah. It wasn't Kevin Spacey then. Like how he jumped in.
A boy came across a body on the beach this morning. His name was Arturo Marquez, a petty smuggler from Argentina. Arturo was very opposed to returning to prison. So much so that he named close to 50 people. Guess who he named in the finale?
Kaiser Sose.
There's more.
I really want to know what happens.
I know he's here. You can't understand. I'm telling you, it's Kaiser Soze!
We're not going to get the answer until the very last minute of this film.
There's no cover!
It's bloody limp. I'm surprised he hadn't tripped over.
Yeah, man, that would hurt. Oh!
I told them nothing.
Who is this guy?
And then it ends.
Who is this? Who is this guy?
It's got to be Kevin Spacey.
No, he's there.
Yeah.
What are you on about?
Manus, the fuck is going
He's
on?
dead. Yeah.
Oh! Who the hell shot him?
Kaiser Soze. This guy, whoever this guy
Actually,
is.
that is, I think.
Arturo Marquez, ever hear of him? He swore out a statement to federal marshals saying that he had seen and could positively identify one Kaiser Sose. The money wasn't there for dope. The Hungarians were going to buy the one guy that could incriminate Kaiser Sose.
I said I never heard of him.
But Keaton did. Edie Finneran was Marquez's extradition advisor. Keaton was Kaiser Sose.
No.
The kind of man who could wrangle the wills of men like Hockney and McManus. The kind of man who could engineer a police lineup through all these years of contacts in NYPD. The kind of man who could have killed Edie Finneran. He used all of you to get him on that boat. He couldn't get on alone. He had to pull the trigger himself to make sure he got his man. It was his idea to hit the taxi service in New York, wasn't it? Come on, tell me the truth.
It was all Keaton.
Has he just convinced the police department that it was someone else? It's Kaiser Soze, and it's actually Kevin Spacey.
Can I use your fax machine?
Right. The picture. Ah. What?
tell me every last
Back when I was in that barbershop quartet in Skokie, Illinois.
Where's your head, Agent Cleese?
He was looking at the stuff behind him and making up stories on the spot.
I think I've seen that parodied somewhere. He's gonna start walking normally.
I want to know is who's the gimp. If he comes up for anything.
Oh my god.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
The line!
Mad. Mad. Mad.
Now I'm going to be honest with you. The bit that I said I think I heard of was that Kevin Spacey was the villain.
Oh, okay.
But
okay,
halfway through, about 2/3 through watching the film,
you were convinced he wasn't.
I was just like, maybe he isn't. I just didn't know because he's a criminal anyway.
Well,
so for the whole film, I was just. I was debating in my own head whether it was or not, and it didn't take away from it at all because I was on hooks at the end of the film. Because for me, the number one thing is the writing and the script. I think it's so good.
Yeah.
And I love the way it's almost a little bit like Reservoir Dogs style in the fact that you're flitting from the present day to the past. And this film hits you and puts you in the deep end straight away. But you eventually become accustomed to the characters and the narrative and what's happening and where. And then I just love a film where you find out what has happened at the same time as the characters.
Yeah, at the very end as well. I think the best thing about this film is literally the ending, which isn't a bad thing, not in a bad way. And I do need to go back and watch this film again though, because there are moments where you get lost.
The first time that Kaiser Soze's name was mentioned by that guy in the bed, it cut straight to Kevin Spacey. And it did that twice. When Kaiser Soze's name was mentioned, it cut straight to Kevin Spacey.
Man.
But then because of the other things, like you said, with the cigarettes and the handing of the guns, like it makes you think it's other people. I love the idea of a character or an antagonist that creates their own mythology. Yeah. And is like the puppeteer from the start.
I did have an inkling that it would be one of those people. You know, I thought originally it was the guy in the cap, but then obviously it was just Kevin Spacey instead. But I love the fact that someone could just be orchestrating this whole thing, but being right there with all the characters trying to figure this out. And even during the pool table scene, Kevin Spacey says to everyone, "Who's Kaiser Soze?" Like really scared. It's like
it's good. I think it's good to go back and watch his performances in the scenes to see whether there's any subtle
reactions. Yeah.
Because the film, because of what we find out at the end, becomes an unreliable narrator, or he becomes an unreliable narrator. So you need to watch this again to find out what bits he's actually lying about, because obviously they call that guy Kobayashi to his face. Yeah. So actually, what we're watching is fake.
Yeah. No, that's
at least the past is.
Well, that's the thing. I think. Yeah, exactly. All the stories that he conjures up, except for the story of the usual suspects, is fake. Everything. And yeah, like you said, it's an unreliable narrator. But,
I like.
But the line that he says at the end is the greatest trick the devil has pulled is convincing the world he isn't real. And this film, through the narration, convinced the audience that he wasn't
and that's
real.
why it's so effective. When
it's so brilliant.
I think it can come across a little bit cliche in a way, but that's because it's been parodied so many times. Yeah. But other things, the score is great, and it hits a flare at the end when you find out it's him.
It does,
but
especially on the boat.
Really nice all the way through as well.
Yeah, especially on the boat. Yeah.
The other characters are great. Their performances are the actors' performances are really
even
good.
At the beginning with Keaton looking up at Kaiser Soze, and he smiles and chuckles as if he like, oh, I know you.
Yeah, I love his character. I think it's such a insidious antagonist, like a sinister, ominous threat throughout.
And I love that this legend and this myth, I said at the beginning, it can't be true, it's just a folk's tale, but it turns out to be true, which is insane. I will say this though, it loses you in places because of how convoluted the story and the narrative is.
A little bit at the beginning, I think. There was a point of dialogue at the start when they're at the crime scene and looking at the burnt bodies where the boat is, and they said, oh, there's one guy that survived, a cripple, and that was obviously Kevin Spacey. it didn't tell us anything, did it? Because he was faking being disabled from the start.
The beginning scene is brilliant. It actually reminds me of Reservoir Dogs, and this came out after Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs was 1992, and the scene where I don't know why, but Keaton's just there smoking a cigarette, and he's just like, I can't feel my legs. Just I don't know, is that vibe? I don't know.
Yeah, I get that. I like the scene where they are in the elevator and in that building.
Yeah,
I would have more from.
The cave scene.
Yeah, I wanted to know. I wish we saw what happened to Benicio del Toro, because I feel like he's a good actor, and he maybe
kind of
a little bit wasted slightly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he was one of the most fascinating characters out of this ensemble. But the cave scene was one of my favourite in terms of cinematography, dialogue, one-liners, lighting, the whole shebang. Was not at all what I expected this film to be. Like you said, I expected it to be in the police station for the entire film.
Yeah, I did, yeah. I'm glad it was different there. I think everybody should see this film. I just wonder whether or not it will maybe tarnish now going forward and sort of
because
in the canon of wider filmography, but we'll have to see. Let's get rating! For a minute I didn't know what was happening. I thought I was Kaiser Soze. This is a good film. I would even say it's a great film.
Yeah.
The performances are really good. The writing's stellar. I love it. I do agree that the plot's a little bit convoluted in places, and for that reason I'm not going to push it over into the 9s, but I'm going to give it an 8.8.
The Usual Suspects, not what I was expecting whatsoever. I love the performances. I love the different type of characters you get in this. I mentioned it at the beginning that I just love the distinctive different characters.
Yeah.
I love the narration, how it's wrapped up in a nice little bow at the end. It just makes the narration throughout just almost like a masterpiece in writing. Narrative can be a bit convoluted in some areas, so you could be lost. But with that being said, I'm going to rate this an 8.6. What did you think of the film?
What was I going to say? Yeah, what did you think of the film? we're in an era at Cinema Rules where we're watching the most random films of different films every time, because we just want to see different things.
Yeah.
We want to see films that we've always wanted to but never got the chance. So if you've got any suggestions, let us know in the comments.
Yeah. And if you want a chance to suggest a film and for it to be watched by us, in our Patreon, we do a live stream every month where you guys suggest films and we pick them out and you vote for them. So hit the link in the description to take part in that. You can take part in that in the lowest tier on our Patreon page. And if you want some of this merch, this has just come out, the 70s vintage range.
Quite comfy actually.
Then check out the link in the description as well. This is one of my favourite hoodies, so yeah, check it out, and
we'll see you next time.
We'll see you in the next video.